Hi guys, this is the walkthrough video for week 2's exam pack. I'm just going to start working through each of the questions. I'll give you a hint at the beginning of it if you're unsure, but primarily this is just to help you, show you how to do it if you're stuck. Okay, so you obviously could watch this and just copy down the answers, but it's a waste of everyone's time, so don't bother, please. Only use it if you need to. So for our first question, we've got to work out the value of 3.1 to the power of 4. That's obviously 3.1 times 3.1 times 3.1 times 3.1. Let's calculate a question, so we can type that in. We get this. So 92.3521. Sorted. To simplify, p cubed all squared. This one is using the brackets rule. Okay, so if you haven't already identified the brackets rule, key thing is we need to multiply the powers. So it's going to be p to the power of 6. This one says t to the power of 8 over t to the power of 3. It's a division rule. Okay, we need to recognise that that's the same as this, which is t to the power of 5. We're going to subtract the powers. This one we've got 2 cubed times by 2 to the power of n equals 2 to the power of 9. Now I know that 3 plus n needs to equal 9, okay? Because when I multiply, I'm going to add the powers. So 3 plus n has to equal 9. N is 6, okay? N equals 6. So, question 2. V equals I over R. And we want to find the lower bound. We know the lower bound is the lowest possible. Sorry, I've got those the wrong way around. Sorry, mine printed out slightly badly, so some of the stuff I've had to go over, so I've copied that down wrong, but I equals V over R. Now, I've got these two, so first mark straight away, I'm going to go right, 250, and this is to the nearest 5, so the lower bound to nearest 5, okay? So I need to think about what's going to round. Relatively difficult one here, but we're going to go for 247.5. I'm going to go 252.5. Okay, it's to the nearest 5. Anything above that would go up to 255. Anything below that would go down to 245. Okay, so that's for V. I can do R as well. Okay, 3900 to the nearest 100. This one's slightly easier. 3850, 3950. Okay. Now I need to think, and this is the challenge here, that's probably at least 1 mark there. I want to give the lower bound of the value of I, and I want to give the answer correct to 3 decimal places. To get this, the lower bound, okay, to get that, the lower bound of I need to think about what happens when I divide. So when I get the lower bound, I want to make sure that I've got a small number divided by a big number, okay? Small divided by big gives me a smaller number. If I do big divided by small, it's going to be bigger, right? So it's going to be the small number divided by the big number. So I want the lower bound. So I want 247.5 divided by the upper bound, okay? 3950. Type that into a calculator. 247.5 divided by 3950. I get that. And it says it wants it to 3 decimal places. 0.063. Okay, 0.063 there. Great. We're going to go on to question 3 now. Which is this one here. Okay. Expand and simplify. If I ever see the words expand, then I've got 2 brackets. Straight away, I'm going to draw myself the grid. Okay, that's your hint there. But I've got 5x plus 2, 2x minus 3. These multiplied is 10x squared, these 4x, this minus 15x, and this minus 6. Now you should also remember that, no point using green, that those two will simplify together. Okay, so my answer will be 10x squared. 4x minus 15x is minus 11x minus 6. Okay. Now, factorising, we've got to go backwards. Again, I can draw my grid. This time I know that I've got x squared plus 3. Okay. Now I know that whatever numbers on the outside need to add. Now x squared means I've got x and x. I can do that straight away. Okay. I need them to multiply to get 3 and add to get 4. Okay, so multiply to get 3, add to get 4. So multiply to get 3, I've got 3 and 1, okay, which would also give me 4. So that's nice and easy. I can go plus 4 plus, plus 3 plus 1, okay, x and x, which means that this is 3, this is 1. X plus 3, x plus 1. I can check it by expanding if I want to. Right, question 4. Okay, Gemma has the same number of sweets as Betty. Betty gives 24 of her sweets to Betty. Betty now has 5 times as many sweets as Gemma. Relatively complicated, but also nice, and it can be quite easy. Okay, the key thing we need to recognise, we're going to have to use some algebra. So initially, Gemma has the same number of sweets as Betty. Okay, so I'm going to do initially. I'm going to have Gemma has X sweets. I'm going to have Betty has X sweets. Okay, then after what they do, so Gemma then gives 24 sweets to Betty. Okay, so Gemma is going to have X minus 24 left. Betty is going to have X plus 24. Okay. Now it says that Betty now has 5 times as many sweets as Gemma. Okay, 5 times as many sweets as Gemma. So that tells us that x plus 24, which is how many Betty has, is 5 times as many as Gemma, x minus 24. The brackets are really important. If we forget the brackets, we'll get it wrong. Okay. This is now nice and easy. It's an equation we can solve. I've got a bracket and I don't want it there. I'm going to expand 5x, 24 times by 5, and I can do it on a calculator if I want to. There's 120, okay, x plus 24. I want x's on one side and numbers on the other. I'm going to add 120, okay. I'm going to do this up here now. I get x plus 144 equals 5x. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. 144 equals 4x. Okay. That means x is equal to 36. Now, we need to revisit the question because some of us will just write 36 and we'll get the answer wrong. It says work out the total number of sweets that Betty and Gemma have. Okay. Originally I said they have x each, which means the total needs to be 72 sweets, which is 2 times by x. Okay, have to be 72 sweets there. 4 relatively easy marks. We'll get 1 mark for setting up the equation, 2nd mark for starting the process of solving, and then the 3rd mark for 36, last mark for 72. Okay, great. Question 5. Okay, question 5 is this one. Okay, as you can see, I've had to draw this one on slightly because my printer didn't work that well, but it's the same as your question. Okay, so 4.8 and then the shaded area. I've got ABC as a quarter of a circle with centre O and radius 4.8. AC is a quarter of a circle. I want to find the area of the shaded segment here. Okay, shaded means we're going to take 2 areas away from each other. I want the total area of the sector, and I want to take away the area of a triangle. Okay, take away the area of a triangle. Area of a sector here, it's a quarter circle, which means my angle is 90 over 360, multiplied by pi times by the radius squared, which is 4.8 squared. Radius here is 4.8. Okay, we're told that in the question. Then I want to subtract from that the area of this triangle. 4.8, which is the base, multiplied by 4.8, which is the height. Then I have to divide this by 2. That's again something that we might have forgotten. Make sure we divide it by 2. At that point, we can plug it into a calculator. Okay. And we should get 6.575. Okay, it says 3 significant figures 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to round up because my next number is 5. 6.58 centimeters. Okay, with the area of that shaded segment. Easy as that. Okay, this one's slightly hard to see on mine, but it will be easier for you to see on your screen. it says describe fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. We've got kind of four key transformations. We have a translation, which is where something slides. We have a rotation, we have reflection, and we have enlargement. Now, this isn't going to be a translation because it's not in the same orientation. It's not going to be a reflection, okay, because again, it's kind of changed. We can kind of see that this shape has rotated. So straight away I'm thinking rotation. For rotation, there's three pieces of information we need to make sure we add, okay? We need the angle, direction, and center, okay? And these two we can sometimes combine these if it's 180 degrees, because it doesn't matter what direction you go. Now this one, we can kind of see this is spun 180 degrees, so it's a rotation, 180 degrees. We don't need to say direction because it doesn't matter which way you're going. And we say about the point, and this is the hard bit, okay? This is the bit that's difficult. The point is going to be right here in the middle, okay? So it should be the point 3, 3, okay? And then this is rotated around 180 degrees. Simple. Now, we are now going to look at question 7. Okay, question 7. Again, it's one I've had to redraw, so if this is unclear, then make sure you look at your version. Okay, it just says work out the area of A, B, C, D, E. This is one of those questions where they don't give you much, so you have to work it out yourself. Now, hopefully some of you will have drawn a line here. Okay, so I've got two areas I need to find. I've got a rectangle and a triangle. Okay, now the rectangle, the area is 4 times by 8, which is 32 centimeters squared. Okay, easy. Now I need to find the area of this triangle. Some of us might try and do base times, so 8 times 5. That's a slant height, it's not a proper height. We need this height here, h. Okay, now the reason why this question is 5 marks is because you're going to need to use a skill that you haven't, that isn't necessarily obvious to you straight away. I'm going to find the height, so I'm going to draw this triangle over here, okay? Yeah, where this is h, this is 5 centimeters, and then I need to go, right, what's this length here? And we should see that this is going to be halfway, so that's 4 centimeters. Okay. Now this is a right angle triangle, and I need to find one side of a right angle triangle. We should be thinking of our favourite Greek guy, Pythagoras. Okay. I've got two sides, I need to find the third of a right angle triangle. I'm going to do Pythagoras every single time. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Hypotenuse is always c. Okay, hypotenuse is always c. Doesn't matter for the other ones, they're just going to be a and b. Right? Doesn't matter for the other ones. So I want to find the height squared. So I know that using this, h squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. That means that h squared equals 25, which is 5 squared, minus 16, which is 4 squared. H squared equals 9. H equals 3. Once I know that's 3, and I want to find the area of this triangle here, this big triangle at the top here, I need to go, right, of triangle is the base is a half times by the base times by the height, which is a half times by 8 times by 3. Okay, 4 times by 3 is 12 centimeters squared. And now I just need to add the areas together. 32 centimeters squared plus 12 centimeters squared, 44 centimeters squared.